Hi, Trish here. You may be familiar with Proverbs 13:12, hope deferred makes the heart sick. And whenever I refer to a Bible verse, I like to go back to the original Hebrew or Greek, and in this case, the Old Testament Hebrew for heart means our inner being. It's our emotions, our mind, our consciousness. It refers to our moral character, our determination. And you may be becoming aware that if you are still in lockdown, in a bubble with maybe yourself or other people, that some of these stresses are starting to show in people's characters and show in their behaviour. And it's just good to be reminded that we are all feeling this tension of hope and despair. Despair means there's no choices available to us. Hope is an expectation and anticipation that we're looking forward to. But the reality is it doesn't have any evidence to be based on. And, we know that the pandemic will eventually end, but we have no evidence as to how it's going to happen and when it'll happen. We know that in time, if we've been in lockdown for longer than we anticipated, that there will be an end to it. But right now, every week that we continue to be in lockdown, our hope is deferred. And as I've talked about in other videos, the importance to keep our body, mind and soul in a healthy state, to nourish our immune system, to really be aware of a healthy well-being and all the tools that we can put in place from my previous videos to keep ourselves moving forward during this time. And I'm often reminded of the wonderful quote by Viktor Frankl. If you're not aware who he is, he's a Holocaust survivor, famous psychiatrist, wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. And one of his quotes I always go back to for myself is, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. And we have right now this very prominent stimulus that has caused a whole global turmoil. I mean, let's face it, nobody had in their 2020 planner that they were going to spend weeks on end staying at home, and yet the pandemic has forced that upon us for obvious safety reasons. But we have the choice as to how we respond to that. It's that space in between. And I know for me, and just the reality that we get to choose, or even though it feels like our freedom and personal responsibility is being taken from us, we still have the freedom to choose how we're going to respond. And that is going to be our freedom and growth. And we can choose, as Viktor Frankl did, and under much more severe conditions, we can choose to have personal meaning for such a time like this.